together.
Yes, it's so nice to have you here. Beautiful, really. I was looking
Thank you.
forward.
Likewise, darling. Sorry we had to postpone last week. I'm
Doesn't
so
matter.
glad today is the perfect day. The sun is shining.
Mm.
Everything is like so good for us getting together in this moment.
Yes, yes. You're very much shining also. And plus you have such a beautiful background. It's
A wooden hut in the middle of a
yes.
garden. Yes.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So it has been, it doesn't matter if weren't able to do it last week. It doesn't matter because things come when they have to come. And we all have um, our lives. And to be here is to be in our hearts. So to really be available and not to worry with what our minds are pushing us to do, no, or with any other health issues. So really glad that I'm able to have you here today, right now, in this time, in the beautiful day.
I feel so grounded right now.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Love that. So you are in you live where, Margarita?
I live in the UK, in the
Mm.
Midlands.
Oh.
But I'm currently looking after my parents-in-law's cat. So I'm
Okay.
in the countryside in the
Ah, nice.
southwest. Yes. So I honestly don't know how the weather is in the rest of the country, but yesterday and today has been beautiful in here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how the rest is
Yeah.
for you that are there. No, at the end,
Yeah,
it's for you to live and enjoy where you are now.
absolutely.
And the woods are always so energetic.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes such a big difference because I live in like quite a built up area. And like spending time in nature makes such a difference. Like immediately my nervous system is like, cool, life's good, like you can just take it easy. So yeah, like my body really appreciates spending time in nature for sure.
And it's so nice, no, that you are able to see that and feel that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's like these subtle
Hmm.
energetic shifts that you feel is like, oh, I'm feeling calm in here. I'm not usually this calm. This feels good. Yeah, it's very good for me.
Yes, because when we are already, we have done the work of really looking inside and observe continuously, how we are feeling and how we are impacting outside and how we are responding and how our body is feeling and everything. So really, we feel those shifts.
For sure. For sure. So subtle. And even like I've noticed like the quality of my thinking changes as well.
Wow, yes.
Um, I was so yeah, like at a mind level, definitely notorious. And yesterday I was watching this video. Do you know Dr. Nicole Lepera, the one that wrote How to Do the Work?
No, no.
Oh,
I have to
amazing
see hear that.
book.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will
super.
note. Oh.
Yeah, she's on Instagram as the holistic psychologist.
Mm.
And she was saying that walking apparently is one of the best ways to process anxiety. So for people
Mm.
that are on the anxious side, like myself, apparently when you walk, your eyes mimic side to side movement, which is what they use in EMDR therapy
Yes,
to
yes.
process trauma. So apparently, when you're walking, your eyes move in those directions. So it automatically sends the signals to your body. It's like, okay, we can release this anxiety. So
It's incredible, no? How our bodies, while that we have been built so incredible smart, no, our
mm,
body is so incredible smart that hmm, it's a pity that many people rely on lots of outside support, help, and medicines or whatever. And when our body is so intelligent to show us that something's not working, or to adapt to for us to be better just by walking, because with the walking you have the balancing. So it's incredible, no? And it's so nice to feel this, to know, no, and be aware of how your body is feeling and how it's changing every time. For like what you're saying now with the roots, being in the nature, that you are
Nature.
really feeling that your mind is more calm.
It is. You're absolutely right. I think like our bodies have been created with so much wisdom that's already been built in. Like if we and 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 I appreciate that life is busy, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
very like lot we have a lot to juggle with at one time. But if we could just like set the intention to just listen to our bodies every so often, just listen a little bit more, like what is the symptom trying to tell me? What is this all of a sudden blood sugar spike trying to tell me? um, in Chinese medicine, each organ handles an emotion. So you could go into that rabbit hole and
Mm-hmm.
investigate. I don't know, like I know in the top of my head, like the liver
Mm-hmm.
is anger, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, okay, my liver markers in my blood work look a bit dodgy. What anger am I suppressing? Or yeah, there is so much that one can discover by listening and getting a bit curious about what the body is trying to tell us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's so important. The listening, and it's true. Yeah, I've read many. I love that. I've read many medicines, Chinese medicine,
Mhm.
and yes, and I love how everything really connects. Everything
Yeah,
is so. Uh, there are always signals somewhere for you to get aware of what's happening, no? Inside and outside of you, but especially inside organs and well, the mind, the heart, everything.
yeah, the heart. I wanted to ask you, like,
Mm-hmm.
in the last days, I went, so I'm an Enneagram 7,
Mm-hmm.
and as Enneagram 7s do not like unpleasant emotions or situations, we're always seeking pleasurable stuff. And that means avoiding sitting down with the more
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable emotions. And in the last days, I had to process what I would consider a cocktail of shame, guilt, and sadness. For my poor Enneagram 7 nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
that was a lot. And but this time I was like really anchored in like my own self-parenting strategy. So I was like, okay, girl, we're gonna go through this desert together. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard,
Yes.
so
Amazing.
hard that even like this side, like the muscles on the side, I don't even know what they're called. They were completely contractured. I
Hence,
don't even know if that's a word in English. So, but it was the first time I really didn't try to dodge my emotions. So I sat with it and felt them. So the question that I wanted to ask you is like, how do you process pain, guilt, shame, and especially when they touch trauma? Because you know when they've hit home or when they've touched a bit of trauma, because you get the looping thoughts and it comes back and it comes
mm-hmm.
back. So I was just really interested of what strategies do you use for that self-soothing and processing.
Well, the looping thoughts, I can relate to them, because we get them with I should have done, or I should have said, or the
Oh,
things so, or I feel like that, and it's well, at the end it's acknowledging them and saying, okay, I know that, I hear you,
yeah.
I know it, but I cannot do anything against that. It's done, and I take you in, I feel you,
Mhm.
and I breathe, and I breathe them out.
With
But
breath.
we have, it's, yeah, it's going through, but not. playing with it, with the mind. It's really more the feeling of them and saying, okay, I acknowledge you, I understand, it's done.
Mhm.
And there's nothing else to do about it. If there's something to do about that, then to take action, no? And do it from the heart. But so this looping, I consider that. I say, okay, I know, I understand.
Mhm. I hear you.
I hear you. Okay, I take you in, understand, and I continue. So as I get them again, okay, yes, I know, I continue.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
yes, but there's no other way than integrating them, understanding it, and then letting them go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, yeah, that's definitely what worked for me, just like sitting down. And like I've got lots of tools to like process these uncomfortable emotions. But for some reason, I caught myself this time that in the past I had just tried to use those tools to not feel the emotion fully.
Mm,
So, for
mm,
instance, EFT tapping is a wonderful tool. Like, I
mm-hmm.
absolutely love it. Journaling, amazing.
Yeah.
But I was always using them in the past so that the storm would pass quickly or I
Mm-hmm,
wouldn't
mm-hmm.
feel it as much as I would. And this time was the first time I said, like, let's feel pain,
Yes,
sister.
yes,
We're
yes.
gonna sit down and feel it. But yeah, I was
Yes.
curious to understand like what tools you use.
Yes, well, yes, like that, or also journaling, and yes, you're right. Many times we try to. I'm a very positive person, so I
Mhm.
try to put. I always see the positive in everything,
Mhm.
but it's important to really take it in and go through it and feel it, and then let it go, no? Because you have acknowledged it, so it's good. And that reminds me, last week, since I left my prior team.
Mhm.
My job, I left it already now Tuesday, not last one, the week before. And I
Yes.
have an incredible team and guys. And so I've been going through that. And and I thought I had dealt with it.
Mhm.
And, one night I was dreaming. And suddenly in the dream, I was very, well, I wasn't conscious, but I got conscious. In the dream, I spoke and saw one of my team members, and I started crying in the dream, really crying that it hurt me, no? And there is when I realized, oh, Jeannette, you haven't grieved yet. And you in the dream, no? And you're grieving now. Just let it be, no? And then it went. But I
That's
hadn't, I
beautiful.
didn't take it. Before I was saying, yeah, come over, and I see them this Friday. I do a barbecue at home and everything, but I didn't cry. I cried with them, yes, but I didn't really cry it out. And in the dream, I cried it out.
You were able to process all the emotions.
Yes, I cried it out and I said, okay, it's normal. You're feeling this grief and just cry it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Uh,
beautiful. Lucky you. You get to
yeah,
process it in your dream, right?
yes, the first time in my life
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm aware of, but it was really nice. And to acknowledge in the dream, to come aware and say, oh, it's because you haven't cried. Now cry it.
Of course, you need to do your grieving.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really interesting.
And that's
Ah,
why it's the grieving. We have to go through the grieving. It's to be able to stand up again and acknowledge what has happened. We went through it and we learned from that, no? But we have to go
mhm.
through it. And it's not that, which I before I never understood, it's that we were told that many things, trauma, you have to go to the origin and see why it happened and put the finger in the bound and everything. For me, that never worked. For me, it's in the today, how it's affecting me
Yeah.
to acknowledge and acknowledge and be aware of what
Mhm.
hurts and really now, in the now,
Mm-hmm.
if it hurts or something, to go through it in the now, to then let it go, not in what happened, because what happened happened,
Yeah,
and you cannot change that.
you can't do anything
But
about
you
it.
have today, you have certain things that you haven't let go because you haven't been there in the feeling, in the emotion.
Yeah.
And there, when you have it, when you acknowledge and you do it, and you go through it, then it disappears because you transmuted that energy that has been
Mhm.
there for a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like you can access the conundrum from different points, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
access it from the mind body, which is going back, try and unearth a horrible thing or not so horrible, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one way to do it. But yeah, as you say, like handle the it's like an energetic knot that gets
Yeah,
stuck,
yes,
right? So
yes.
just like when you go to a massage to get the knots in your
Mm-hmm.
back is like pay attention to feel it until it like
Yeah.
release.
And it's the feeling of the now. You're feeling the knot. It's now, and it's been there. And you breathe it out. It's hurting until it disappears. But it's in the now. How you created the knot doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's there. So go through it. It's painful.
Yes.
Go through it now. It's the same. I have an emotional sadness that I haven't gone through,
Mhm.
and I'm keeping this energy in there. So
Mhm.
go in, let it, feel it, let it flow, and the way it has to flow. If it's sadness,
Mhm.
let it out, cry, whatever. But
Mhm.
in the energy that you have within now, and let it go, transmute it. At the end, it's
Transmute.
not letting it go because letting it go is in mind. It's really transmuting it because you are
Yeah.
going in it and feeling it, and then it goes out. It disappears because you've been in there.
Mm.
Like what you were saying, no? Before you were in there, feeling it and having the
Yeah.
emotion, saying I'm there, and then you have transmuted it. It's not
Yeah.
there anymore because you dealt with it, not with your mind. You've
With your
been
mind.
there with with these emotions.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, and do you find that by using that method, you stop getting triggered by the same wound in the future? Or, I mean, no, I don't think you're ever gonna stop getting triggered, but are the triggers less intense?
Yeah, because for instance, shame.
Yeah.
No, for instance,
My biggest
shame
one.
or yeah, but shame comes from the mind. Shame
Yes.
comes because the mind is playing tricks with us and saying, "Okay, I'm ashamed because I said this or whatever, and they felt like this, and I feel." But it's projection. In reality, it's not the what happened. It's what you and your mind are thinking it's happening.
Yeah.
So if those things, I really deal with them and say, okay, no, it's my mind playing me tricks because it's how
Mhm.
I am seeing with my shoes of what happened, but the other ones
Mhm.
might not have seen the same thing I'm seeing. And so it's
Mhm.
me turning around something that might not even exist. So why do I have to go through that? And the shame. The shame is also fear.
Yes.
Fear of what others can say, no? So what I've learned, what others can say is their issue, and it's their thing. I don't. I'm not walking their shoes. I'm walking
Yeah.
mine. So whatever I'm projecting is me projecting with my mind that not necessarily is true. So why shame? No, why should? So when my mind goes
Mhm.
I say okay, no, I take it in. I go into my heart and say it's okay, Jeannette. It's your mind playing and telling you certain things, but not necessarily true. So
Necessarily true.
here and in my heart, and I did what I did, and it's okay, it's done, and I did it with love.
Yeah.
So when you consider things, situations like this in the future, you're less triggered.
Yes.
because you are more in your heart, and you see things from your heart and not from your mind.
Not from your mind.
So it's every time less that you feel
Mm.
all those emotions that come from the mind, no?
From
Many
the
of them.
mind.
Like fear comes from the mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
fear, many times we have fear of something
Yes.
because also it's our mind telling us something, but not as fear is never going to be
Mhm.
as you have thought when the situation comes.
Yeah.
Because what you thought is based on your past and what you have around and what you think. But the reality is always different.
You're absolutely right. This exact thing that you mentioned was my takeaway from traversing the desert of my feelings in the past days. The message, so basically, what I asked was, so I was in this emotional turmoil. And then I said, like, okay, universe, I need to surrender this because obviously my little mind is not able to work this out. So what I did was, that before a yoga session you can offer it to set an intention. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yoga session, please help me get an insight as to how to process this. And the message was crystal clear. You need to open empty space for things to work out on the road. Stop trying to control, stop creating extra narratives, stop reading it more like energy, just like remove yourself and
Mm-hmm.
let things work out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes. And you're not going to believe this. The day I intentionally grounded myself in that, the situation resolved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was so
It's
crazy.
incredible. No, because at the end we are creators. So we are creating based on what we are thinking. And so the more you are in your heart, the more you surrender, the less you're controlling, less your mind is playing, and the more you're letting things flow.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you are creating through love and not through angst, shame, whatever, so many things, no fear, so many things. So
Mm-hmm.
because we have a field of thoughts around us,
Yeah,
and with all the possibilities we have in our mind. So if we focus with our mind into something, we're going to create it. If
100%.
we are surrendering in our hearts, living from there in the present moment without complicating ourselves with what the mind is expecting and so many things, it's life is much simpler, and and yes, and beautiful, no, and magical things, many things disappear because of living in the heart. I can see that when I go to meetings nowadays, at work. I remember before being very stressed, or I don't know, whatever, what will I explain or what will I say, all those things, no?
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm another person because I don't put my mind into what's going to happen, and I'm not creating expectations. I'm just saying, okay, when I'm there, I will figure out in the moment what to say and
Wow.
how to say it. I have to say about, I don't know, transparent communication or whatever. I have to say it, and I will say it the way it has to be said in the moment with the people I have around. But why should I now worry and how I'm going to say it and how it will, how I'm going to say it to whom in what moment? No, if I don't even know, I don't know.
That's amazing.
And my life got simpler because of that.
That is absolutely amazing to be able to, well, that is truly what all the teachers teach. Live in the present. You're fully embodying it. And how how were the first times you did that? Was it not like really scary?
I think it comes, I really don't remember the first time because it wasn't with, no, I don't remember the first time. I think it's more it's so gradual that you don't realize until one day you realize, I'm not worrying anymore. So it's not because it's not the intention not to worry, because then you worry. It's more the intention to really be in the heart, and from there observe and be in the moment and see how people are, well, enjoying and sharing with people in even if it's a business meeting, and knowing where you're standing and then speaking from there, from the moment. And not with the mind, no. And I guess my intention has been lots of being my heart, so that was the intention.
Yeah.
But I don't remember when I started to do that, or I just remember looking back and saying, oh, I'm not stressed, oh, I'm relaxed, look how nice, it's more in the
It's
looking
more
back.
organic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more organic. It's not and it has been for me. That's why I speak a lot about exploration, experiencing and practicing. Because for me, when I had the positive impact movement community, and it was the COVID time, it's when I explored, experienced, and practiced a lot to be in the heart in the conversations, taking out the expectations, and telling everyone we don't have expectations. We go into the meetings, maybe we have a topic, but there's no expectation. There's only being in the heart. And if someone is sharing, we listen, and we ask questions related for them to serve them, but not because of our curiosity, So I practice it twice or three times a week because of the amount of meetings we had. But it was exploration, experience, and practicing. So that slowly brought me more into the heart. And surely I also, and everyone, and still do, we were up and down, no? So we were in the mind, and then again go to the heart, no? There were opinions, and when there were opinions, saying, okay, that's opinions, but let's go back to the heart. Don't if someone shares, we accept that sharing, that opinion. So all this practicing, and I guess that through that, when I went, I was still working, but I also remotely at that time, also at work. So I also practiced that with the virtual meetings. So when we went back into this physical meetings, and all of that, I had this practice within me and the experiencing. So. And I applied it more and more and more. And today, well, I still many times I are in my mind. It's normal, but I observe when I'm in my mind, then those emotions come in the fear. So I just recognize them very quickly and go into the heart.
Go into the heart.
And from there I see, and from there I share, even if it's IT or whatever it is, I share from the heart. And yes, I might get triggered depending on what meetings you have, no? Customers getting, well, not angry, but certain things. And then I see myself going to the mind, reacting or wanting to say something, and then just quiet and stopping, listening, and then go into the heart but it's exploration, experiencing, and practicing. And that's what I always say is so important, to be committed, because it takes effort to unlearn what we've been taught.
Oh my God, I know.
And still I have it a lot. But yes, it's the willingness and the resilience to practice, and practice.
Yeah. Sometimes people ask me like, what's the whole point of meditation? Is like, is the put your mind in blank or whatever? And I was like, no. Meditation shows its practical application in the moment your chimp mind is about to react like a caveman. And through building the practice of observing your thoughts and your emotions, you buy yourself 2 seconds
Yeah.
before you act like like the person you're not.
Yes.
So absolutely, like what is it that I say? Explore,
Explore, experience, and practice.
experience, and practice. I would say that to do that, it's essential to have a meditation practice, right?
Yes,
Because
it's very
otherwise
good.
you wouldn't have built that buffer
Yeah.
to be able to actually consider this thing I'm seeing or feeling as something worth exploring. I would have thought it was me or
Yes, it's the it's meditations helps. It's an amazing tool for me to go inwards into the back of the to the to the eye, no, to the middle, and into the heart.
yes,
And for me it opens the door to the infinite universe, which we all are connected. No, I feel this connection very strongly, and and it supports in what you're saying, in acknowledging that our thoughts are not us.
bingo.
No? We control our thoughts. There's something behind,
Yeah.
next to this avatar, this mind, this body, this something which is what we are, that is the observer. And the observer observes, like what we said at the beginning, our body, how it's feeling, and where it's hurting, what it's telling us. It observes our thoughts. It observes, well, how we react and later on respond.
Mhm.
So many things that we are able to really learn to. I was going to use control, but it's not control. It's really to learn to be who you are, because who you are is not your mind and not your body. It's this observer, and this observer is in peace and calmness, and is what I say, love, uniqueness, and co-creation. No? So we are love. We are unique with our skills and our everything that we are, and we co-create from there, from the heart, with
Hmm.
others, heart to heart.
Oh,
So
I'm gonna note
so
this down. This is beautiful.
so this is who we are, and this is what meditation supports us in understanding, and to also explore, experience, and practice to be the observer
Absolutely.
and to become who we are.
Hmm.
But it's a tool, a beautiful tool, powerful tool, and it's
Hmm.
yes, and what you were saying. No, it's not putting our mind in blank, no, because I remember, put your mind in blank, and I'm like, when I was there in this universe,
Mhm.
I was listening to my mind, no, and I was listening to thoughts, and I was saying, oh, this feels so good. I'm hearing myself, you know, because your thoughts still continue there. It's
Yeah.
just that the sensations are incredible, are something really to be experienced, for you to know that you are more than what it is here, no, and that you are connected to everyone in this world,
Hmm.
and that we all are the same unique beings, everyone with their gifts, but we are all one and the same. And
Hmm.
this is the what meditations supports us, no, this going inward.
Hmm.
And that's the other thing, is living from the inside out, from the heart to the world,
Mhm.
and not from the outside in, when we are being triggered all the time, and in believing that we are something which we are not. Not that we are our mind, our ego. We
So
have to
true.
have our ego, because we have to have the singularity, the individuality, no? Because we are experiencing
Absolutely.
something, and it's for us to understand who we are. So our uniqueness, love, uniqueness, and co-creation, but it's not this egoic mind. That is which we are not.
Absolutely. I love that you're bringing that to the conversation because I think, yeah, for many reasons, but there are lots of teachings that are based on like kill the ego, get rid of the ego. And that's only shame speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, the most wholesome explanation I've found that makes sense to me is more like integrating the ego, because once you make peace with it, you're able to access its light side.
Yeah.
It stops being in the shadow, and then you have, I think there's an esoteric teacher that calls it like your magical personality,
Mm-hmm.
that it's your ego transmuted into the light side. And that's your uniqueness, your unique quirks, traits, passions, the way you like to serve, what makes you laugh, like all these things that are needed for you to be able to share your medicine, whatever that is. If you're good at computers, you're helping other with
Mm-hmm.
computers. If you're a doctor, you're obviously healing people. But yeah, I love that you've brought that to the conversation because we need the ego. It's our interface, and at least in this plane, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we need to have a nice one. We need
Yes.
to polish it, train it, flex it, have it nice and strong in a good way, like a healthy one.
Yes, a healthy one. Healthy with ourselves and everyone else. Yeah, it's this individuality
Exactly.
because it's yeah, it's part of who we are. It's, everything is this individuality that allows us to then, well, it's for us to recognize, yeah, the individuality, but knowing the that it's a tool to take in and learn about love, uniqueness, and co-creation, who we are, not because that's we is this avatar and everything it takes with us, yeah. Which
Absolutely.
yeah, it's not to be limited, and the mind limits us. So this is
Mhm.
not to be limited.
Absolutely. And with that uniqueness that you mentioned, like we need that uniqueness
Mm-hmm.
because we chose to learn and expand from that uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
from the light side and from the shadow side. We need to experience that subjective, unique experience to learn whatever it is that we wanted to learn.
Yeah, and uniqueness is your uniqueness. So you're in individual with your uniqueness, and your uniqueness is that which you are here to share with others. So that's why I always talk about the be your own guru. That's our
Yes.
uniqueness, because I have certain gifts and I have certain traits that I can share with you, and you learn from me. And the same you, I learn from your uniqueness, from your beingness. I learn through you and I grow with you.
Yes.
So this is the co-creation, because when you are unique, you are allowing yourself to be in freedom to be who you are with everything you bring, and with that from the heart, no, in the present. And I'm sharing that with you. You're taking in with your same wholeness. You're taking in and you're sharing with me. So you're giving me and I'm receiving, and this is the infinite loop of co-creation. No, it's this
Of
giving and receiving, and that's how we all grow
course.
into whatever we are to be, no, and whatever we are, no, at the end. But this is this through this giving and receiving from our heart, which is from our wholeness.
Hmm, that's beautiful.
And
I have a question for you,
yeah.
Lovely, in terms of the word heart. So when you mean from the heart, if we were to look at it as the different bodies of us humans, are we talking about the whole the whole being? Are we talking about the emotional body? What do you mean by heart?
Heart, for me, the heart is the door to our higher self and to the universal, to our limitless potential. I call it
Limitless
our
potential.
power of being.
Power of
And
being.
it's what we are. It's
Yes.
not the organ, and it's this limitless potential that each of us is. And
So it's the true you.
yeah, the true you. I say heart because when I'm here with you co-creating,
Mhm.
I feel my heart, and I feel my heart connected to you. And I through my heart, I see you. So through my heart, I feel your essence.
Yes.
And I feel you and me are the same. We are connected, no?
Of
Because I am
course.
in my heart. I know, and I mean, I understand that other people may feel it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
No, for me, is this all seeing eye
Yeah.
that doesn't have judgment. It's that's and that which connects me to the world, and that which values, which loves, values, and respects everything and everyone around me. And I feel it in my heart.
You feel it in your heart.
And when I meditate,
Mhm.
heart opens up, as now I have it open. It
Oh,
open heart up, and it's like I go into this infinite vastness and oneness. I feel
mm,
all these connections, and so it's part of what I feel now, sharing with you. But
mm,
it's the open heart.
the open heart.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
that's why I talk about the heart.
The heart. Yeah. So it's the connection with your higher self or the soul, like depends
Yeah,
on
whatever it is, it's the
whatever that is.
beyond. It's this
Beyond.
vault, this universe that it's within all of us, that unites all of us, that it's beyond this material being.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing with me. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Mm. So thank you so much, Margarita, for sharing with me, and I hope many more times.
Of
Been
course.
lovely. I appreciate it a lot. I feel you and I see you. I really feel you, with my heart, and see you, and I love you, and I appreciate you a lot for being here with me and for co-creating with me from the
Thank you, darling. Thank you for opening up this beautiful space where we can just be anchored in our hearts and be. It
Mhm.
is so refreshing, so beautiful, and it's been so flow led. Um, I, yeah, I, all I can say is that like I'm rejoicing on the inside. So thank you for inviting me here, my darling. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Margarita.